All right, now in the bowl we have 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and when you're baking, measure everything. Don't try to guess on that. Then do what my mommy always says. Mama says, add some salt because that's going to give it some good flavor. All right, so we're gonna. And she also says when you salt something, just pretend it's a big serving. So I don't really measure this. I just pretend it's a good serving because you want your crust to have some flavor. Otherwise, it's going to taste pretty bland. All right, after that, you're going to take about a cup, and I usually use a little more than a cup of cold Crisco shortening. And what we're going to do is what we call cutting it into the flour. And what you want to do is just piece it apart like this. But you don't want to stir. You just cut it in this way, and what you're after is to get this Crisco into the flour all the way to it starts looking like kind of like meal, like an oatmeal. All right. Now, my mother, I keep bringing her up because she's a pie expert. When she was in high school, even she won a blue ribbon for her pies in the county fair, so she knows what she's doing. One of her rules is not only to have your Crisco cold like this, and ice water too, but also you want to handle this as little as possible, because the more you handle it after you make a dough, it's going to get tougher and tougher and tougher. So what we're going to do is just cut this in until all the little pieces are kind of like, not BBs, but marbles. So you can't really see pieces of Crisco. All right, so I use a fork. You can use a pastry cutter or one of those things, the wire things. I don't have one. I don't know why. I made about 100 million pies, but I always use this big fork. It just feels good in my hand, I guess. All right, so after you've got it about like that, okay, you see it kind of mealy looking, and it's all pretty even all the way around through the flour. Keep digging on the bottom so you don't leave any residue flour down there. Okay, then what you want to do is you want to take the ice water and you're going to put it in there. I put enough in there to make it like a ball. So Mother always said 1/3 of a cup, but I use a little bit more than that. So I kind of put the ice water in the middle like this, and then I stir it in. And what you want to do is work this into a ball until it's not really sticking to your bowl anymore. See that? See, it's starting to come away from your bowl. And by the way, we're making an apple pie today, so I used 2 cups. Now, if you were going to make a pumpkin pie and you only needed 1 crust, you do this like, you just cut it all in half. So there you go. So when it's like that, it's just a nice texture. See, then you can start putting it together, and it holds together really nicely. So we're going to kind of divide this in half because part of it's for the top and the other half is for the bottom. All right, so I'm going to take about this much out. Make sure I have enough for the bottom of the crust too. Okay, and then you just put it like this into a ball. A lot of people put it in the refrigerator for about a half an hour, but I don't do that. It comes out just as good. I don't know why they say to do it. I guess it holds together better. So you can't roll it out on a board. So you have to take some flour, or you can't do it on a board that doesn't have anything on it or it'll stick. So you take some flour and you put it on there like that. Not too much. Rub it out. Pat your dough like that. Okay, and then you swirl it around. Okay, make sure it sticks together. Nice, and you take your rolling pin and you roll it out to fit your pie plate. Okay, now this is the way I do it. And if you don't turn it over and over like this, it's going to start sticking to your board. And then you have to make sure you sprinkle flour, keep it dry, put a little on your rolling pin like that. Okay, and then pick it up and do it again, and just a few times till you get it big enough for your pie plate like that. Okay, all right, nice. This is going to be a good one. You can tell by the way it feels. It's kind of rubbery a little bit. Okay, and you don't want it too thick. You don't want it too thin. Just kind of like that. All right. Now this is going to be the bottom of the pie plate, so it doesn't have to be pretty. So we're going to get our pie plate and put it in there. Be right back.